This is the card we're going to be doing today. It's a one sheet wonder, and then I put vellum over top of it, so it's just hazy and you can just see it in the background, and then this part here becomes the focal of the card. So we have to start with a one sheet wonder, and I'm using, it's heavy stamp day. I'm using the Happiness Abounds, this stamp right here. I'm using the Ranunculus Romance, this and this one. And I'm using Nature's Prints, this gorgeous leaf. And I'm using my favorite stamp, this eucalyptus, and this stamp here. And then for Ever Fern, I'm just using this leaf. So, and I use the stitched rectangles, and that is for this here. And I use the third smallest in the huge set. There's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it is the third smallest of 8. Okay, that's going away.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Rowling, an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Ontario, Canada. Thank you for joining me today. Don't worry about sizes or supplies for this card as they are attached to this video. If you enjoy watching this video, could you please like and share, as this helps me grow my channel? And if you could leave a comment, that would be wonderful, as I love to see where you're watching from or what you think of the card. If you aren't already subscribed, please click the subscribe button and hit notifications so you will know when I post a new video. If you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would love to help you out. My contact information is attached.
And then putting that there, bringing this in, and let me see, where have I got that paper? I had it. There it is. So I'm just doing half a sheet. This is 5.5 by 8.5. I don't usually do full sheets because I don't have, like I end up with lots of cards that way. I would end up with 4 cards. I don't need 4 cards of the same thing, so I just do half of a sheet. So if that makes sense to everybody. So I've started out, and I've used a soft seafoam because it's very delicate, light in the background, and it doesn't interfere with the roses and that are stamped on top, but it just gives a little hint of color behind those stamps. Now I'm kind of putting this in half so I know where I'm going to put the stamp, and so I'm starting here, and see, it's very light. It's not something that stands out and takes over. And then I'm just kind of moving my page around, and then I'm going to come up here and do a couple of these on each side. And this is red rubber, so I don't need my piercing mat, but hopefully I will remember to put my piercing mat into the equation when I do the other stamps. I will not guarantee that I will, but I will try. I have a tendency to get going and forget. So now that I've got the background in, I'm going to take fresh Freesia And I'm going to take that beautiful wild rose from Happiness Abounds. And I'm putting one on each side. And then I'm doing one up here, but not the whole thing. Here it's almost the whole thing, but here I've cut it back so that it's only part of. You see how much is not on, and here, down here, how much got left off. So it's not very much at all. So I'm going to stick that out of the way, and there it is. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to only go from this up and stamp it. And I'm going to stamp it through here and try to avoid any overlap on the roses, the wild roses here. So I bring this in and I go like that. See, it's the edge of the pads there. Ooh. And then I kind of bring it here, and it's a little bit over, but that's, it's hard not to do it to get it totally over, totally miss it. So I'm going to be turning my paper all the time so that I can stamp this easier. And now I'm only going to be stamping this side, and over here I'm only going to be stamping that side. See, can you see that? Now I'm going to be doing the same thing here, just that top part. I don't want the leaves, and stamping. Basically, I just want this stamp and that, or this rose and that rose. And this one, basically, I just want those two and not that one. See how it is? Now, I'm going to close this up for a second, and I'm going to bring out my pale papaya, because I want to do this and get it done as I'm going, and so I don't cover it up and miss it. This is pale papaya, and I'm just doing the center of the flowers, because this doesn't have, like, it's not a two-step stamp, and I don't want to use my blends or anything like that to color it in. I just want to use the stamp set, the ink pad, and I'm going to use my blending brushes to color in the purple, fresh Freesia. It makes it easier for you that way, if you don't have to use blends to color in a one sheet wonder. And because it's going to be behind the vellum, you're not going to see the little tiny details. You're going to see detail, well, you're going to see stuff, but not that you colored it in with the blends and you spent a lot of time with your blends coloring. You'll see that it's colored in, but it's not, you spent 15 minutes coloring with your blends. Blends are wonderful. I love my blends, and they're perfect in certain situations, but this would be a waste of time if you used your blends on this. Hope that makes sense to you, because the vellum covers up a lot. It just it gives you a hint of color back there, and but it's really pretty. If you could see it in real life, you would understand what I'm talking about. And I'm still going to take a few minutes. This takes a little bit of time, but it doesn't take as long as coloring with the blends. I'm not going to color in the Ranunculus Romance Roses because they have a lot of color on them already with the detail that the artist put in with the stamps. And so it would be wasting your time if you colored it in. Well, wasting my time if I colored it in. If you want to do it, you go right ahead. But for me, it's just not worth it. But doesn't that pick it up? You can see the flower more because I've used the blending brushes on it. So how's everybody doing today? I hope you're having a good day. I hope the weather's nice. We have been having so much rain. Oh, it's rained almost every day last week. And it started well, Sunday it started raining again. And it's like, really? Like, how much rain do we actually need? Because come summertime when it's really hot and that we will need the rain then. Let's spread it out a little bit. Now I'm coming in with the pale papaya, and this, I don't want these leaves down here. I want to the flowers. So I'm only going to go to that. Well, I have a line on here. This is a block I've had for years and years. So I'm just going to put it in there. And then I can go to the edge of and it doesn't go on top of the flower. And that's what I'm trying to do. Just get it to the edge, just to add color, but not to add a lot. Just a hint of the color, and right to the edge of the flowers. So if you just watch where you're putting your stamp in the ink pad, you can make it work for you, and you don't need all this down here. And again there, I'm just adding a hint of color out here. And bringing it in here. It does not really show. I was wanting to show you that the pale papaya is very, very light, and you can't really see it. And because I'm putting the vellum over top, you're not going to see the second generation. So that's why I'm not doing that with the pale papaya. There we go. Put that aside. Now I'm coming in with the polished pink, and no, wait a minute. I'm going to do my greens first. I'm going to do this little tiny leaf in the soft succulent. And again, I do not want that stem. I just want the leaves. Here you see the second generation. It's a little bit darker, so I'm going to make use of that. And there. Just try to make sure I don't get that stem in there, not go too fast. Go slower and more deliberate. So what do you think of it so far? Can you see what I'm trying to do? There we go. I need some green over here. And then I'll do a second generation over there. Yeah, that looks good. Now, I am going to come in with my pink. And again, I do not want the stems, so I'm just doing to the stems. So have you tried doing a one sheet wonder? How is it working? Do you like the result? If you're not quite confident in the result, keep stamping. That's what I was told. Just keep stamping. And because it's only paper, it's half a sheet of white paper. Whoopee. If you have to throw it away, that's not a big deal. And especially with this, covering it up with the vellum, try it and cover it up with the vellum and see. I think you will see if there's anything that you don't like, you won't see it in the card. And remember, you can stamp on top of the wild rose, because flowers do come up. When you're looking at a flower bed, you can see flowers in front of other flowers. So you can stamp on top and it's fine. It's a coming. There. Put that aside. And now I'm going to bring out my favorite stamp. I do love this stamp. Oh my goodness. I don't know why I love it so much, but I absolutely love the eucalyptus. Now, I am not going to use the whole stamp. I am going to use part of it because I don't want like big long pieces sticking out all over. So I'm going to use smaller ones, and then I can add the longer ones after I get the smaller ones done. And I will be doing a lot of second generation with this because it is such a dark stamp, and you can actually see the second generation. It just takes time. And now I am going to go over top of that there, because I have overlapped the flower. So I'm trying to cover up some of the things that I have overlapped, so that you can't see that it was overlapped, because it's coming from all different directions. Has anybody else looked at this in the catalog and found this stamp and thought it was as gorgeous as I think it is? I absolutely love this eucalyptus. I should be having this, shouldn't I? I told you I was gonna try. I wasn't always going to succeed. I just find it so stunning. I guess I'm a little crazy. Now I gotta get something down here. So quiet here. Everybody's sleeping in my household. That's the perfect time for me. Dominic's sleeping, Mummy's sleeping, but Mummy's sick. Oh, she's got laryngitis and a cold, and she's not feeling so good. And of course, then Dominic has had it and gave it to her, and I just hope that it stops there. I hope I don't get it worse. I still got a cough, but I'm not feeling bad. I just have the cough. And as long as I just have the cough, I'm okay with that. Okay, get ink all over everything. So I'm not going to do dottage on this one because I am going to cover it up with the vellum and you wouldn't see it. So I'm just going to cut this down and clean up, and then I'll be back and show you how I make the card. I'm back, and I cut it up into 5 by 3 3/4. So I basically cut 1/4 of an inch off all sides, basically something like that. And it matches up there. So I am taking my vellum cardstock, and you can put this down differently, but a lot of people just put glue underneath here and would underneath here, wherever there's something on top, because you can see through where you put the glue sometimes. Well, I'm going to show you a trick that I use so that I can put the whole sheet down and you won't be the wiser. So I'm taking my liquid glue and I'm putting a puddle there, and I'm taking my sponge, and I got a clip for it, and when this is, I need to do that soon, And when it's all ucky, then I just cut it off and I start all over again. And I'm going to put this all over, and it's sponged on, and you won't be the wiser that it's there. And then you can get it in all the corners, and it will stay down. There you are. And I'm going to put it right on top of my one sheet wonder that I've cut, and try to make sure that the one sheet wonder is totally covered. See? You cannot see through it. You cannot see where I've glued it. So that's perfect. And I just put that aside. And once this is dry, I just roll it up. This is a silicone mat, and it literally just rolls off, and it's clean. Like this thing is awesome for glue. So there you go. And now this is Evening Evergreen, and the fresh Freesia is on top of that. And then I'm going to glue this down. And I love my liquid glue, especially for when I'm on camera, because then I have wiggle room. And I find I screw up more on camera because I'm trying to do a good job and show you. So that's why the wiggle room for me is most important, because I don't want to get it off. So now I'm going to put that aside and bring out my cut out things. So what I did is I stamped the Ranunculus Romance Rose twice, and then I fussy cut it out, and because I don't have any dies for that. I don't think there's a die set. And this is from Nature's Print. I love this. I did it in soft succulent, and again I cut around it, and now there is a die cut for this, but I was fussy cutting everything else, so I just fussy cut it. It's not a big deal. You can cut it out with your die cut, or you can fussy cut it. Your choice. Me, I don't mind fussy cutting at all. It's not a hardship to me. I actually kind of enjoy it while I'm sitting down watching TV. I just go ahead and cut it all out, and it just works fine for me. Now I'm going to bring this down in here, and that is between this and the rose. Oh, and it's stuck. Yay. I put it in far enough. Now this one comes down here. Like you can see, I did the same thing on this as I did on the One Sheet Wonder. And stick it in there. Now what I'm going to do is cut this off, so that I've got two pieces, and this piece is going to come over here, basically just like that. So it's this and this set, and I'm going to take my little glue so I can get a small amount of glue. And these will be attached to the vellum, so it will be fine. It will be tacked down. There. And now I am taking this one and I am attaching it there. So like I said, there's just not that much attached, but it will be attached on the back of this whole thing. And now this goes behind the white label. And again, I am going to cut this off, and this is going to be down through here. So you're using almost the whole two, like I cut out 2 of these and it's going behind. Now I am going to cut this leaf off and it's going to go up there. And it's going to get a little bit of glue. And it's going to fill in this area here. And this one here. So like I said, I've used almost the whole of 2 of these. I could probably fill it in completely, but I don't think it's necessary because I'm going to put the ribbon here, so that's going to be in there. So this is perfectly fine. Oh, wait a minute. This has to go over farther. That's how I screwed up. This, when this goes to this edge, so this has to be within the card frame. Does that make sense? So it's just this came off easy. If you screw up, it's not a big deal, but it has to be within the framework of the card. There. See, just like that. See how easy it is to get it in? Now I'm going to flip this over and I'm going to do that and then put it, it's going right over so that the fresh freesia you don't see and you just see the green, and then it goes like that. Now I have my bow and I need my glue dots. If I need to show you the bow, how to make the bow, I have done that in lots of other videos. But if you need to see it again, just send me a message, an email. My contact information is attached, and I will do it the next time I do a video. I do a lot of bows, so I will do it the next time. But just look back in any of my cards that have bows on it, and most of the time I demonstrate how to do it. I just figured this one was going to be a long enough video. If I didn't have to do it, I wouldn't. Now I have my champagne rhinestones, and I am like almost to the end of these. I don't know what this is, but it's not a champagne rhinestone. So I am, whoopsie, putting these down. No, I want it down farther. Put it in between. There. And then I am, I didn't get it. There. And I'm doing 2 more. One down here. and one in here. Just like that. So what do you think of my card? Now I will do the inside. Now that I've got that done, I will show you how to do the inside and the envelope. And we're doing it this way. Just a little reminder. Oh, that was the pale papaya open weave ribbon that I used. So I'm looking for my stamp. There it is. And I'm just doing that. Now what I did is I made a mask for this. My paper's going all over. And do my envelope at the same time. And get out my pale papaya and do the centers. Like that. There we go. Now we are going to do the fresh Freesia. The lighter colors, they usually don't show any globs because they're such a light color, but the darker colors, you never know if they will show, so you always start off the paper. It might not look like I do that, but as you see, I just go, I'm going from there over to here. So I'm starting there, and then see, I started there. So I am doing off. Sometimes I go in circles. It just depends. If I accidentally see I've gone up the side of my brush, then I sometimes start it like that too. Just depends how I put the ink on. So everybody does anybody have this Happiness Abounds stamp set? I love this wild rose. The details on it, and it is gorgeous. And to put it with the Ranunculus Romance, it is a match made in heaven. I didn't realize it when I purchased these two stamp sets, but it's like, whoa, they look so beautiful together. Now I am going to put this aside so I've got room, and I'm going to bring out my soft Succulent, and I'm going to bring out my matte mask. Oh brother, just like that. And then I'm going to only do the top part of this. Oh, that did not stick. I've used it so much. There we go. Hopefully it will. I won't be moving it, so hopefully it will cover it up enough that, there we go. Just like that. Didn't get good enough coverage, so I'm just going to looks pretty. Now I'm going to do the same on this one, and hopefully it will stay attached long enough so that I can do this. There we go. Pretty. Now I will, nope, that's the one I already did. This was the one I want. There. See that wiggle room just comes in so much handier than if I didn't have it. Okay, so what do you think of this card? See, like I said, you cannot see in the background. You can see in the background, but you can't see a lot. So if you don't really like your one sheet wonder, cut it up and build on it and put the vellum in the front. I think it's going to look wonderful. Like, I actually think it's going to be stunning when you do this, because this hides a multitude of sins. So yeah, I would go for it and just try it. And remember, it's only a piece of paper. It's half, or buy some cheap white cardstock. If you don't want to use your good Stampin' Up! Cardstock, just use the cheap stuff for doing one sheet wonders till you get onto it. And cheap stuff is like dime a dozen, basically. It's not anything to worry about. Thank you so much for watching. I so appreciate you being here and spending time with me, and having subscribed, and my numbers are growing, and I so appreciate each and every one of you that share, have subscribed, and welcome the new subscribers. Welcome to my channel. And if you could like, comment, give me a comment and say if you like the card, or that you've tried this. Let me know if you've tried making this. You can use different stamps and just use the same technique that I've used. That's not an issue. But if you want a stamp set that really, like, I absolutely love this, it's the framed occasions. I use the Wishing You the Best Day Ever. I use this one in the polished pink, and I use this one in the evening evergreen. And this is a really good stamp set for doing one sheet wonders, because you can do the outline and then you can fill it in. So and they're solid stamps. So they work really well with one sheet wonders. So thank you so much for being here. Bye now.